For decades, the formula it was very simple. Study hard, get good grades, secure admission to a very reputed university and if possible, make it to America. Now, for generations of Indian families, the United States represented opportunity, prestige, the promise of better life. It was the final destination where ambitious students wanted to be and where parents dreamt of seeing their children succeed. But today that dream it appears to be facing new challenges. Fresh data suggests that the number of Indian students heading to the United States it is beginning to decline, and the trend that is now visible even in specialized courses such as law school. According to recent figures, applications from Indian students to American law schools have dropped significantly. Well, the whole decline it is not limited to India alone, but Indian students they remain one of the largest international groups studying in the United States, which makes the trend particularly important. The obvious question is, what has changed? Here, the answer. It appears to be uncertain. That's right, over the last few years, student visa processes have become more and more complicated. Screening measures have increased, waiting period have also been longer. Many students they are facing delays while others worry about visa approval altogether. Can you imagine receiving admission to your dream university, celebrating with your family, your friends, preparing for the next chapter of your life and then finding yourself stuck in a lengthy visa process with no clear timeline? Now, for many families here, investing a lot of amount of money in overseas education, that uncertainty, it can become a major concern. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole conversation, it's no longer only about education. It is increasingly about what happens after graduation. Students today, they are asking difficult questions. Will there be enough job opportunities? Will work visa be available now? Will immigration policies become even stricter in near future? Can they realistically build long-term career in America? And at the very same time, countries like Canada, Australia, Germany, Singapore, the United Kingdom, they are aggressively attracting international students, offering the alternative pathway for education and employment. Though America still possesses some of the finest universities in the world, and that reputation remains intact. But confidence plays a key role in student decision here, and when confidence begins to weaken, numbers begin to change. Well, the latest figures suggest that while the American dream remains alive, it is no longer as straightforward or as certain as it once seemed. Well, a graduation ceremony is usually like a celebration. It is the day students wait for after years of assignment, maybe exams, deadlines, sleepless nights. Families travel long distances to watch their children receive the degrees. Camera flash, speeches, and graduates prepare to step into the next chapter of their lives. But at Stanford University, one of America's most prestigious institutions, this year's ceremony, it took a very different turn. The chief guest was Google's CEO, Mr. Sundar Pichai, one of the most successful technology leaders in the world and a role model for millions of students, specifically Indians. Well, as he began speaking, hundreds of students reportedly stood up and walked out. Their message loud and clear. They chanted slogans in support of Palestine and protested Google's aligned involvement in the projects that were linked to Israel. Within minutes, what was supposed to be a graduation speech, it became a political statement. Well, the whole protest quickly spread far beyond the campus. Social media exploded with reactions. Some praised the students for exercising their rights to protest and holding very powerful institutions accountable. But others, they criticized them for disrupting a graduation ceremony and disrespecting a guest who had come to inspire the graduating class. The whole debate, it became even bigger when a very prominent Indian-American investor, Vinod Khosla, and the US Congressman, Ro Khanna, they publicly disagreed over the incident. One side argued that innovation and technology have transformed billions of lives and deserve some kind of recognition. The others argued that students have every right to question corporations and challenge authorities. This whole incident reflects a much bigger trend here. Universities across America are increasingly becoming battlegrounds for political debates. In fact, issues that once belonged to the politicians, they are now being discussed by students, by professors and activists. From war overseas to artificial intelligence, from climate change to corporate responsibility, it's the campuses that are becoming the arsenal here where young people they are demanding answers. The Stanford protest, it was not just about Sundar Pichai. It was about the growing willingness of students to challenge powerful institutions even on one of the biggest days of their lives.